Hello everyone, my name is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing you guys a massive historical romance book haul. Okay, everybody sing it with me. I can't stop buying books. Yeah, so every time there is a historical romance readathon, I will link all of the information for that down below. I actually did a reading vlog for the most recent round, and I will of course link that vlog up in the cards above. But every time there is a round of the historical romance readathon, I feel the need to buy as many historical romances as possible, and it needs to stop. This is getting ridiculous. I have over 50 books to haul in this video. I will say a few of these are not historical romances, but the vast majority of them are. But yeah, I am so excited about all these books that I bought. Yes, I know I have a problem, but buying books makes me happy, you know? And in this current dumpster fire time that we are living in, you know, we need to find joy where we can. So you know what, without further ado, let's just get into it. First, I felt the need to buy the entire Bridgerton series by Julia Quinn. So you guys may be aware that Bridgerton is a brand new series on Netflix that came out on December 25th on Christmas Day. Basically it took the world by storm. From what I understand, Bridgerton is now Netflix's most successful premiere ever. And I think it's their most successful show ever as well. And so this is a series that I've kind of been having my eye on for a while, but a lot of people have said really negative things about the first book, which is The Duke and I. I actually did end up getting a copy of the first book because I bought a lot of Julia Quinn books and this one just came in the lot. But this first book is quite problematic because there is a scene that essentially involves sexual assault towards the end. And so mainly because of this book, I never planned on reading the series, but then everybody was just going on and on about the rest of the books and how amazing the Bridgerton family is. So I just couldn't resist. And so I went on eBay and I found copies of all of the original editions with the exception of the first book, because like I said, I didn't even plan on buying this one. So the next one is The Viscount Who Loved Me, and this one is the first edition. So it has this stunning step back. I am now absolutely obsessed with step backs, and so any opportunity that I can find, I try my best to buy historical romances with the original step back. The next book in the series is An Offer from a Gentleman. From what I understand, this is a Cinderella retelling, and here is the beautiful step back for that one. Then we have Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, and here is the step back for that. I love step backs like this one that look like they are painted. Like, how beautiful is that? And then we have To Sir Philip with Love. This is the fifth book. Here is the step back for that. Next up is When He Was Wicked. Here's the step back for that one. We have It's in His Kiss. Here's the cover. Here's the step back. We love it. And then the final book is On the Way to the Wedding, which might be my favorite cover of the series because I love this color pink. And here is the step back for that one. I just think that this is such a pretty book. So yeah, I'm really excited to have the original copies of this series, and I think I'm either going to do a binge reading vlog for this series as a whole, or I'm just going to do a video where I review all of them and then rank them from my least favorite to my favorite. So yeah, I'm really excited about getting to this series at some point. All right, so here's a couple of other random Julia Quinn books that I got. This one is The Secrets of Sir Richard Kenworthy. There's that one. I don't know if this one's a part of a series, so there's that one. And then I also got The Sum of All Kisses by Julia Quinn. This one, I believe, is book 3 in her Smythe Smith quartet, which is a spin-off series of the Bridgerton series. So I'm happy to have this one as well. Like I said, these two I got in just a random Julia Quinn lot. So basically, because I was so obsessed with getting copies of the Bridgerton series, I came across these videos where people were recommending series to binge after reading the Bridgerton series, you know, when you want another historical romance series that is about a family. And so one that came highly recommended from quite a few romance booktubers that I follow is this one by Eloisa James. This is The Wilds of Lindo Castle. So this one actually starts with a prequel. This one is My Last Duchess. This one actually is the most recent release of the series from what I understand. And this one is about the parents of the kids that the rest of these books follow. So then we have our first book, which is Wild in Love. So this one has one of my favorite step backs ever. Let me just show you. Okay, can we discuss? I love that they are laughing together and just having a good time. Like, how beautiful is that step back? I just love the cover as well. So here for that. Next one is Too Wild to Wed. Here is the step back for that one. Then we have Born to be Wild. There's that one. I am obsessed with all of the step backs that Eloisa James has. Like, her covers and step backs are just stunning. And the next one is Say No to the Duke. There's that step back. And this is the last book of the series that is out so far. This is Say Yes to the Duke, and there is a step back for that one. There is a book coming out soon. I think it's just called Wild Child. That's going to be the latest book of the series. I have no idea how many books she's planning to release in this series, but I am really hoping that I love this family as much as so many other romance booktubers do. So I read a historical romance by Elizabeth Hoyt. It was one of the books in her Maiden Lane series some months back. I think it was for one of the other rounds of the historical romance readathon. And I loved it so much that I decided to buy pretty much all of the other books in her Maiden Lane series. So that is this entire stack right here. So most of these books I got in a lot off of Amazon, actually, because you can buy books from third-party sellers off of there. And let me tell you, Elizabeth Hoyt's step backs are stunning as well. So the first book in the Maiden Lane series is Wicked Intentions. This is the original cover. Her books tend to get cover changes a lot, which is kind of annoying, but let me just show you the step back for this one. Absolutely beautiful. I also adore books that have like the double page step back, not just the step back on like this side of the page. And let's see, the next book in that series is Notorious Pleasures. This is another book that got a cover change soon after it was released. So this might be my favorite step back of the series because I am obsessed with the two characters being in a boat together on the river. Like, how pretty is that? Then we have Scandalous Desires. Now, I had a copy of this one, but it was in the new cover, which I'm not a fan of. So I wanted to get the original cover, which I love so much more. Also, purple is my favorite color. But I am devastated because, guys, can we discuss? Someone ripped out half of the step back. So, hate that. So I actually ended up buying another copy of this same edition off of eBay, and hopefully that step back is not ripped out because I really want an edition with the full step back. Next up we have Thief of Shadows. This one did not have a step back. I'm not sure if the original edition does or not. Then it's Lord of Darkness. This one is actually autographed by Elizabeth Hoyt. But yeah, there's her signature there. It just says Enjoy and then Elizabeth Hoyt. Then we have Duke of Midnight. Again, this one does not have a step back. We have Darling Beast, and there is the step back for that one. I will say I'm not as big of a fan of this one because it just shows the guy, and I'd rather step backs where the couple is together. Then we have Dearest Rogue. This one I've heard amazing things about, and I know that this one is about a blind heroine. Let me just show you this step back. Isn't it stunning? Like, girl, she gets amazing step backs. And then finally I have Sweetest Scoundrel, and let me show you that beautiful step back. So yes, I'm really excited to have most of this series on my shelves because, like I said, I've read a couple of things by Elizabeth Hoyt at this point and I loved both of them so much. I love how seamlessly she weaves romance and action together. I definitely think that she has a very unique writing style, so I'm really excited to get to those. So Cat Sebastian is probably one of my favorite historical romance authors at this point, so I decided to buy all of her backlist titles. So first up, let's see, I have her Regency Imposters series. The first one in that is Unmasked by the Marquis. I have read this one and I gave it 5 stars. Really, really love this one. This one centers around a non-binary main character and it's everything. Also, I want to quickly point out that Sebastian writes LGBTQ plus historical romances and they're amazing. Although I will say the other 2 books in the series I don't think are LGBTQ romances, but the next one is A Duke in Disguise and then A Delicate Deception, and so that's it for that series. And then we have her Sedgwick series, which I have read books 1 and 3 in, but I still need to read book 2. So book 1 is It Takes Two to Tumble. This is essentially an historical romance retelling of The Sound of Music, because we have one main character who is a captain and he definitely isn't very involved in the raising of his children. He's definitely a very grumpy, broody hero. Then we have Ben Sedgwick, who is a vicar. He is definitely a very sunshiny character. And yeah, it's just so good. And then the second book in the series is A Gentleman Never Keeps Score. I have not read this one yet, but I'm really excited to get to it. And the third and final book is Two Rogues Make It Right, which I also really enjoyed. So this series centers around 3 brothers and I am just obsessed. Then last but not least, I got her Turner series. I think that is the title of this series. The first one is The Soldier's Scoundrel. Then we have The Ruin of a Rake, and then we also have The Lawrence Brown Affair, and then there's also a novella in this series called A Little Light Mischief, which is a sapphic romance, which we love to see. Next up, I got a new copy of A Notorious Vow by Joanna Shupe. This is book 3 in her 400 series, one of my top favorite historical romances of all time at this point, but I decided to get a brand new copy because I had a used copy that I got off of eBay some months back, but it was in pretty bad condition, although to be fair, I only paid like $3 or $4 for it. But because I loved this book so much, I decided to get myself a new copy that I could just read over and over again. By the way, this one features a deaf hero and it is amazing. Then we have 9 Rules to Break When Romancing a Rake by Sarah McLean. This copy I'm so excited about because I got this used off of eBay. I didn't really know what the condition was going to be, but as you can see, it looks brand new, but it is a first edition. It does have this stunning step back. We love to see that. I adored this book. I gave it 5 stars. This is featured in my latest historical romance readathon vlog. I already have that linked up in the cards above. So yeah, definitely check out that vlog if you want to hear me gush about this book because it is just everything. And actually, speaking of this same series, so this is book 1 in her Love by Numbers series, and I loved this book so much. There are 2 other characters that are introduced in this book that get their own romance later on in the series, and that is 11 Scandals to Start to Win a Duke's Heart. This is technically book 3 in the series. I don't plan on reading book 2 because, to be quite honest, the character that one is going to center around didn't really appeal to me all that much. But this one is centering around the half-sister of the hero from this book, and it just sounds like such a fun time. So yeah, I'm really excited to get to this one. Okay guys, we have 4 historical romances left, and then I have some other miscellaneous genres to cover. Next we have The Day of the Duchess by Sarah McLean. Yes, it's book 3 in her Scandal and Scoundrel series. Let me show you the step back for that one. Really pretty. This one I've heard nothing but amazing things about. It is a marriage in trouble story, and just so you guys know, in case you don't already, the marriage in trouble / second chance romance trope is my absolute favorite. So when I heard people raving about this one, I just had to pick up a copy for myself. I really do enjoy Sarah McLean's writing and her historical. Some of them are a little hit or miss for me, but most of them I have enjoyed, so I'm really excited to get to this one. I also decided to get a copy of Again the Magic by Lisa Kleypas. This is technically a prequel novel to her Wallflower series, but I'm not sure exactly what the connection is between the stories and the Wallflower series. Then next up we have, y'all, this cover is everything. This is Bound to a Warrior by Donna Fletcher. Can we discuss? That's one of the most beautiful covers I've ever seen on a historical romance, and it also has the painted vibe to it. I really don't know much about this one. I think this is book one in a series that I think centers around the Scottish brothers. And as you can tell by the cover and the title, the two main characters are literally bound to one another. So there's a lot of forced proximity involved. I remember Jen from the Book Refuge raving about this one, so I just had to pick myself a copy. So really, really looking forward to this one. I haven't read a ton of Scottish historical romances in general, so I'm hoping that this one's really great. And then we also have When She Said I Do by Celeste Bradley. This one does have this step back. So this one's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. If you don't know anything about me, I am trash for any Beauty and the Beast retelling. We have this man who is a recluse. So the heroine, is it Calliope? I think that's how her name is pronounced. She's caught in a rainstorm, so she has to take shelter in this seemingly abandoned mansion. There's a man that lives there, and so yeah, things get interesting from there. I've heard that this one is really, really sexy, so I'm here for that. Okay, that is officially it for the historical romances, so let me get to the other books that I have. I swear we're getting to the end though, but I did get most of the books in Ilona Andrews' Hidden Legacy series, so I hauled book 4 in my last book haul, and I finally got the other 4 books in the series. So first up is Burn for Me. This is a series that I have been loving. I've read books 1 and 2, so book 2 is White Hot. Really loved this book as well. Couldn't give these less than 5 stars. It kind of gives me post-apocalyptic vibes. It's also an urban fantasy series that takes place in Houston, but there are magic users in this world, and the magical families basically control everything. But yeah, White Hot is the second book. Loved this book as well. Then we have the third book, which is Wildfire. I cannot wait to get to this one in March because you guys, like, this series is so good. And then I got the 5th book, which is Emerald Blaze, and like I said, I've already hauled book 4, but I especially adore the covers of like this new trilogy within the series, because essentially this first trilogy centers around Nevada, and then this second trilogy centers around Catalina, who is Nevada's younger sister. Next up, I had to get myself physical copies of the Birdman Brothers series by Chloe Leese. You guys may know that I've already read Only When It's Us. This almost made my top 10 romances of 2020. That is how much I loved it. So then I got myself book 2, which is Always Only You, and then the third book is Ever After Always. Then I got Know My Name by Chanel Miller. So this is a nonfiction book. It is a memoir, universally acclaimed, rapturously reviewed, and an instant New York Times bestseller. This breathtaking memoir gives readers the privilege of knowing her not just as Emily Doe, but as Chanel Miller, the writer, the artist, the survivor, the fighter. That's a quote from The Wrap. Her story of trauma and transcendence illuminates a culture biased to protect perpetrators, indicting a criminal justice system designed to fail the most vulnerable, and ultimately shining with the courage required to move through suffering and live a full and beautiful life. So from what I understand, Chanel Miller is the woman that Brock Turner assaulted. And so I'm really looking forward to reading this because I know nothing about Chanel as a person. But I've heard nothing but amazing things about this book. Oh my god, guys, we have 3 books left. I'm so excited. Okay. Next up, we have the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition of A Vow, So Bold and Deadly by Bridget Kemmerer. This is the 3rd and final book in the Curse Breakers trilogy. The exclusive edition, I'm trying to think. I think this features like a bonus scene, an exclusive chapter about the enchantress Lilith and the curse that started it all. So I guess it's going to be from Lilith's POV, who is pretty much the villain of the series. But I'm excited about reading this 3rd book, but I'm also kind of scared because the 2nd book, A Heart So Fierce and Broken, definitely disappointed me. But I loved the 1st book so much that I have high hopes. I trust Bridget Kemmerer. I've read several of her books before and have loved all of them, so I'm really hoping that she brings it with this 3rd and final book. And finally, we have my book of the month picks for February. So I didn't realize that Kristen Hanna was coming out with a new book. but this is The Four Winds. This is a book that takes place during the Depression, I want to say in like the Dust Bowl region. Oh, it says Texas. So I'm of course really looking forward to this one. I have read The Nightingale, absolutely loved it. That book almost made my top 10 favorite books of 2020. That's how much I loved it. So I'm really looking forward to reading her most recent release. And then finally, I had to get this book as an add-on because it's a book that I've been looking forward to reading for a while. And that is Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. So all that I know about this one, it seems like this is more of a women's fiction novel. We have our main character. She ends up going to Vegas and getting married to another woman, and she wakes up the next morning probably not really remembering what happened. So it's kind of one of those like what happens in Vegas stories, but I've heard that it's also about so much more than that. I love this cover. I'm excited to read it. So yeah, guys, we made it. I talked about all 50 plus books that I bought in the last couple of months. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely leave a comment below if you want to discuss any of the books that I mentioned in this video. I'm excited about having all of them on my shelves. So yeah, with that being said, I would love it if you would leave a like and subscribe. And I thank you so much in advance if you do. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!